Hey everyone, sorry I am a few minutes late. Had an unexpected phone call, as I said in my Facebook post, that I didn't want to send to voicemail. Anyways, today we are going to talk about book blurbs. And the first thing I want to say to you is I hate writing them. I'm not good at writing them. So if it's something that makes you nervous, if it's something that in the past you've struggled with, you're not alone. And there's a reason why. You might think, hey, I'm a writer. Why can't I write a really good book blurb, back cover content, whatever you want to call it? Well, think about it. We're authors. We write novels. 60, 80,000, I know some of you sci-fi folks, 120,000 word novels. When you try to ask us, very prolific people, to take this labor of love and smush it down into like 2 paragraphs that are 150 to 200 words, it is no reason we can't write it. So don't be too hard on yourself and don't be frustrated. I will be the first to say, do what you do best and outsource the rest. If you have some extra money and you can hire someone, often editors write back matter, book cover blurbs, or back book blurbs. But a lot of people specialize in that because it's copy, it's marketing, it's not creative writing. So outsourcing it is always an option, but we don't have unlimited money in our piggy bank. So figuring out how to do a lot of the stuff ourselves is crucial. So if you're not wanting to outsource and you want it to write your book blurb yourself, then you can do it. There's just a few things that I can share with you, a few tips, tricks that I've used. I do still write some of mine. I outsource some of them. I often try to write one and then outsource one and see which I like best, which is typically the one I pay for, not my own. But you can definitely do it. So the first thing that I would recommend when you're trying to figure out, what does my book blurb need to contain? What is it that I actually need to squeeze into that itty bitty bit? Go look at some of your favorite books. Go look at maybe some books you bought recently. Go online and look at books by your favorite authors and read their back blurbs. And then go one step further and dissect what you're reading. This is something that actually I did in an assignment, but with a whole book when I was going through getting my MFA. And at first I thought it was ridiculous, but it turned out to be one of the best assignments in the entire program. We were to take a book by one of our favorite authors and outline it. Go through, read it chapter by chapter, outline it, do character sketches, the whole thing. So kind of deconstructing this book. And what the instructor was trying to tell us is we all authors, we follow that same formula we've talked about a million times: conflict, rise to action, climax, resolution, everybody's happy. The back blurb is no different. There are a few elements that we all use to get excitement built up in the reader. So go kind of reverse outline some book blurbs with books that you've read lately, books that you've just see on Amazon, and maybe even some of the classics, and see what those elements are. That gives you your rough outline. Then go through and pick out the key points that is going to get your reader excited, but we don't want to give all those away. One thing that drives me insane about the movie industry is how often have you watched a book or a movie trailer and been like, okay, I have to go see that movie. It comes out Friday. We are going and we are going to see that movie on Friday. You watch 2 hours worth of this movie and the best parts were in the movie trailer. So with our books, we don't want to do that. And I'm not sure if the people that make the movie trailers intended on doing that. Maybe I just don't think the exciting part was what they think the exciting part is. Maybe they thought that was a teaser. But you want to tease people. So think of those really exciting elements that the reader would be really interested in, and then think speed dating. If you've ever been speed dating, which I actually haven't, but I have been speed networking, same concept. You have 5 minutes to talk to this other person and find out information. Well, you don't want to tell every single thing about you and your life story to this person in 5 minutes. You want to intrigue them. You want to interest them. You want to leave them wanting more so that they write on their little list, hey, I want to go out with that person, or I want to get to know them more. That's what you want to do with your back cover matter. You want to date the reader, so to speak, tease them, and get them, after they read your couple paragraphs, to say, I absolutely have to read this book. So you might want to talk about your character and allude to something that's going to happen that makes the reader wonder, You might want to talk about the villain and how, that bad thing's going to happen. But just leave a little bit out. Not false advertising or bait and switch marketing, just teasing. Think of it as a burlesque show where you want to leave more to the imagination because that is much sexier. And I hope I don't offend anyone with that analogy. I don't know why it just popped in my head. But you don't want to give everything away because then how interesting is that? Think of the different plot points that are exciting. Is there an explosion? Maybe allude to that. If it's a romance novel, then talk about a potential love or a potential lost love. Think of 5 or 10 things about the book and about your characters, which would be great sound bites. And you can also then reuse these for some marketing, so don't delete after you've written these out or throw away the paper. And then take those elements, take the outline, take these compelling points, and start working on crafting your message. Again, making sure to have that fine balance between getting them excited, but not giving away the farm. And then have people read it. This is one area, let me back up a second. Sometimes I think it's best if you separate your writing life from friends and family, because it can be very difficult for someone really close to you to give you honest feedback on your writing, on a novel that you've spent, God knows how long writing. And it can be hard for you to accept feedback if it isn't glowing. And I've seen so many writers say, my friends and family don't seem interested in reading and buying my novel. Well, actually buying it, yes, reading it, no. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when it comes to something that is strictly 150, 200 words, then it's totally different. I have my kids read mine, and those, as you guys know, are the worst critics because they are already at the age where they think I'm an idiot. So when I write something that they don't think is great, they totally let me know. But you can get so much good feedback, even if it's not from someone that reads in your genre. Like my 12-year-old, she doesn't read my books, but she can read the blurb and see, oh yeah, that kind of sounds exciting. Or my 16-year-old son, same thing. Share your blurb with as many people as you can, this group, your other networks, and get feedback. Because it's often just a tweak here or a tweak there. Ask them, what do you want to know after reading this? Do you want to know more about if she finds Prince charming? Do you want to know more about if the building doesn't get blown up? Get that information from them, because that's going to help you better craft your message. So just to recap, find a few other book blurbs out there and outline them so you can just get comfortable with how other people are constructing their book blurbs. Then sit down and brainstorm 5 or 10 main points that would be really good teasers. Write your book blurb, probably write 2 or 3 different versions, and get as much feedback as you can. Now, if you don't already have your book written, know that you still need to write your book blurb because you need to use it for marketing, etc. But it can change. As long as you're not changing your romance into a sci-fi book, little tweaks are not a big deal. You also, when marketing, if you find your book's not selling, the 2 easiest things to switch if you think your book is really good but it's not selling is the cover and the book blurb. I have changed both on my Presley series 110 times. Literally, it's on its 3rd cover revision, and I've tweaked the book blurb so many times. But those are marketing elements that you can easily switch out, bring extra life. So don't feel that you just have to come up with one and then it's set in stone forever. So if you have any book blurbs that you would love to share with the group, I would love to see them posted. I will actually share one in a bit today from Diamonds and Disguises, which is my newest release coming out. And let's just have some fun with it. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. I'll talk to you all soon.